Hey, y'all. Oh my gosh. I am so excited. We are back again for another intentional living podcast with SonjaW. And I'm back to assist you with starting off your week with a little less chaos, okay? So can't wait to get into it. We're about to do the things that we do every single week. We're going to talk about the one good thing that happened this week. And if you're joining me, I can't wait to see the good things that happened for you this past week. We're going to talk about what's on the docket for this week, okay? What are we going to be working on this week? And then we're going to talk about that intentional living or intentional topic of the week, what we're going to be focusing on this week. And finally, we're going to end with prayer, because prayer is a way to just seal what we want to see happen. It's a way to communicate with God, to hear his will for what we have going this week. Okay, so I'm excited to get right in it, because we take only 20 minutes to do all of those things. Okay, so let's get into it. My one good thing. Now, y'all know, if y'all been following me long enough, we in season 2, and I never just have one good thing, and that's what it's gonna be again today. Okay, I not sorry. I was gonna say sorry, but I'm not sorry, because there's just so many good things to point out. And when you get into the habit of pointing out good things, then you begin to be a good thing picker. I don't know. It's easier and easier to see all the good that is around you already when you start to look for it and be intentional about it. And remember, it's important to be intentional about it, because reminding yourself of the good that's happened, one, reminds you that we serve a good God. That's number one. But then two, it turns our mindset into one of resilience, one of strength, one able to overcome anything that may happen our way, because we know that if we had all these good things that happened and last week was crazy, then we know that the next week can be even better when we reflect on what happened. Okay, so I got a couple of things that were good for me. Last week I got to glaze a pot that I made. So in June, we celebrated my sister-in-law's birthday by going to make pottery. And it was really, really cute. It's a really cool experience, actually. But the funny thing, or not funny thing, but the interesting thing about it, and I feel like that's like a message somewhere, for real, for real. Actually, you know what? That is a message. But you create that pot, and then it takes 3 weeks for it to cure, for them to put it in the kiln and fire it and do all the things, so that you're prepared to glaze it and to make it something that you can actually use. And then after you glaze it, then you have to let it wait again for another 2 weeks, another few days. And I don't know, I was kind of reflecting. It was a good time. Let me back up. It was a good time because I had time to reflect and think, because even the process of glazing a pot takes a long time, because you have to do at least 2 to 3 coats of this glaze, and then you have to paint, and then you have to let that each coat dry before you can put another coat on. So I was there for a long time, and it was just a quiet and peaceful environment. So I think I really enjoyed that, because it was time to reflect, time to relax, and then also time to create something amazing, right? And I thought it was just so cool. There were so many little nuggets in there, like the fact that the glaze, the paint that I was using, it goes by chemical reaction. So when it hits the fire, then it changes color. So I wanted a pot that was green and had some white in it and all that kind of stuff, but the colors that I was using were not the colors that they're going to end up to be. And I think that just speaks to so much, but it speaks to the fact that we can't look at what we begin as, right? Don't despise small beginnings. Knowing that the end is going to be greater than the beginning. What I started with was red and gray. It was ugly. But when I get it back in 2 weeks, it's going to be a gorgeous masterpiece. And I don't know, there's just so many cool nuggets in that I just thought that was really amazing. And then the other thing was that I had a grand time with my group. This summer, we actually read this book called 10X by Grant Cardone. Actually, a very amazing book. When you combine that, the wisdom that he had in that book, along with the Word of God, I'm telling you, it transforms how you think about things. Okay, but we read that book together and then we just walked, right? And it was an amazing time of reflecting on the book, reflecting on how we're going to 10x our lives. But just a beautiful time of fellowship, and I enjoyed it. I also walked 3 miles, or almost 3 miles, because it was like 2.8, something like that. I don't remember, but I walked almost 3 miles. So that was good. Got my body moving. Okay, so that is all of my good things. I would love to hear what your good things are below. Catch it down in the comments if you're catching the replay. By the way, I'm sorry, I did not put up the live notification until this morning. I didn't realize I forgot to do that. Shame on me. Anyway, so if you're not catching, so many of y'all probably gonna do this on the replay. Anyway, drop some comments below. Let me know what are some of your good things that you did this past week that is going to prepare you to do amazing this week. Okay. Now, the next thing is what's on the docket. What is up for this week? What does your calendar look like? What do you have? Do you have appointments? Do you have things that you got to get done? What is on your docket this week? Okay. Now, for me, a lot of what's on my docket, and I'm kind of like looking at my calendar now, is writing. I have some things that I wanted to write and get started on, so that's gonna get going. It's actually a devotional that I have been hemming and hawing about, so I need to stop playing. But I have a devotional in mind that I want to do, so I'm gonna start kind of mapping what that's gonna look like out. And then finally, kind of laying down what the rest of these goals for my life are going to be this year. So if you follow me last week, I think I said this last week. Did I tell y'all in the podcast last week? I can't remember. I think I did. But anyway, I typically have my goals or the idea of what I plan to do for the whole entire year handled when I do my reset at the end of every year, right? Like, I know where we're going. I know what I'm trying to do. I know all the things, right? I don't know how, but I know, okay, I want to see X happen in, this year. And as I continue to work and continue to do my weekly reviews and continue to do my resets, it kind of reveals reveals the details as I focus in on it. So anyway, I had my stuff all together. And then at my reset time for this quarter, July, we're the third quarter. That's wild to me. Anyway, the Lord was like, scrap it all and start over. And I was like, yikes. Okay. So right now I'm in a moment where I don't actually have specific goals. It's weird. I know I'm the goals person. But I got my habits, right? We still want to be healthy. I still have my values. Oh, that's a thing. Oh, I didn't even think about that. See, the beautiful thing about intentional living or intentional life, when you have your life plan laid out, you may not have a specific goal, but you know what your life's values are. You know what your life's principles are. So you will continue to work in those principles, and then you can build out goals that you need, that you like. There's certain specific things that you want to see done. But for me right now, I'm still working out, still drinking my water. I'm still reading my Bible. I'm still praying, because these are all core principles, core life values in my life. So that has not changed, right? I don't have a goal to read my Bible because I read it. That's a habit now. I don't have a goal to work out because I work out now, right? Like, that's my thing. I'm a gym girly now. If you follow me, you saw that post a while back during my birthday month. Anyway, so I just think, so it's like, it's a little nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, I usually have a very specific thing that I'm pushing towards all the time. But in this particular season or moment, I don't know if it's going to be a season, because it's only been like a week, 2 weeks. What is it? This is the 8th of July, 2024. So it's been interesting. So on the docket is more prayer and more asking the Lord what the rest of this year is going to look like, and how we're going to move forward. And then I have a lot of writing to do for work. It is mid-year review time for my team members, so I got to write all those reviews and have those meetings and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little busy time at work. So that's what's on my docket. Okay. And I hope that little nugget helps you as well. That if you oh, I just realized, I hope y'all can hear me, because I just realized that I didn't have my mic anywhere near me. Wow. We're gonna find out in playback. But anyway, um I hope that just that little nugget about living your life by values, by your life principles, on what I teach, those six key areas of your life, or if you build out more, having more, um that even if you don't have a specific goal right now that you're heading towards, you're living by your values, so you're still moving forward. And I think that's a key thing. I think that's a really, really, really key thing in life, that when you're intentional with your life, it doesn't matter if you have specific goals, because you've already laid out life's values, life's principles that guide what you do on a daily basis. There we go. And it's going to move you forward. Okay. So that's not even the topic of today. I might need to break that down a little bit more in another video or another podcast. But this week we're talking about how to maximize your season, your life, through rest. Now, I know that's weird, right? People are like, no, you grind all day, you work hard, you keep going, you grind, you grind, you grind. And I say, no, that's not what you do. And that's not what God even wants you to do. He said that He has given us the Sabbath, He's given us rest because He knows that we need it. Right. And when we rest and when we trust in God, then we see some changes in our lives. Then we see the success in our lives that we want to see. Right. I truly believe that the rest that I do get helps me to be sharp in every area. So let's talk about maximizing rest to make sure that we maximize our life. There are three things that we're going to break down real quick. Okay. First of all, rest is essential. Like, it is essential. Have you ever tried to do something complicated when you had lack of sleep? Like, you did not get enough sleep. You in here just struggling. Did you get it done? Was it full of mistakes? Did it actually come together how you needed it to come together? More than likely not. Think about the last time that you didn't get enough sleep. How was your day? I remember a couple of times where I didn't get enough sleep. I remember there was one time where I had like some event or something like that. It was out of town, and I was like, I'm coming in. I had to go to church the next day, and I had to go to church early the next day. And for some odd reason, after this event, I could not go to sleep. I literally only had 1 hour of sleep. It was wild. I don't know what happened. But on that Sunday, going to church and serving was a testament in like just struggle, right? Everything. I had to ask people to ask me questions twice. I was moving a little slower. Things weren't clicking in my head. It was horrible. Or another time when I was getting my master's, it was coming down to the end of things. And let me tell you, I don't recommend this, but this is what I was doing. I was younger then, but I had an internship to help pay for school. I also was a research assistant, so I had tasks to do there. Then I had my last couple of classes for my master's program. And then I also had my master's thesis. I actually wrote a thesis. It was focused on the acquisition of asthma management plans, and based on language and also ethnicity. So, if you spoke Spanish as your primary language, did you have less of a chance of having an asthma management plan, and blah 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 blah. It's actually really cool. I should bring that stuff back out. Anyway, I remember one night in particular, I was in my room in the dark. I had a roommate at the time. In my room in the dark, staring at a screen, just staring. And my roommate came into the room. She knocked on the door and opened it and was like, "Sonja, are you okay?" I don't know if y'all follow or watch, used to watch The Proud Family. It was a cartoon that was amazing. They had those Gray sisters. My roommate said that I looked like them. In that show, the girls were like gray and just mean. Hold on. Was she telling me I was mean? I don't know. But she said she said I was looking gray. I was looking horrible. She told me to go to bed. Right? All that to say, I didn't get what I needed to get done or done well. And I'm sure that you have the same type of story. And that's because rest is essential. These bodies that we are in were made to rest, work, and rest, right? Even God says that he made the Sabbath for us, not the man for Sabbath, right? He said, I mandated time for you to rest because I know your bodies. I made them. I know you'll need rest. So please, Sabbath, okay? It is essential. Also, focus on your need for rest. That's another thing to do. You may not look like everybody else, but you are going to be finding your rhythm, the rhythm that you and God create on how you work. You know, some people may work really, really hard all the time and never have rest and seem to be doing amazing. Don't look at that. Look at what you need. Do you need to go to bed early? Or do you work better at night? Do you need to set up your life in such a way that you can work at night and then sleep a little bit later in the day? How did God create your body? Focus on your rhythm and how your body moves so that you can maximize your season. Some people are morning people, some people are evening people, some people are afternoon people. What are you? Figure that out so that you can maximize and put the most important things that you want to get done in those times of maximum energy. For me, after I wake up for real, the morning is my best time. So I typically, if anything is like hard at work, I typically gravitate towards doing that first because I know that I'm going to have the energy and the mental capacity to work it out in the morning. Afternoons, not so much. So I know that about myself. That's another reason why I work out in the morning because in the evening when I'm done, I'm done. Okay. That's why if I do anything really for my business, I try to do it either at lunch or if I have time in the morning, do it in the morning because honestly, the evenings are horrible for me. I be ready to go to sleep, okay? Eat dinner and go to sleep. But I know that about myself, right? And then the final thing, and we're gonna move quickly. Oh my gosh, it's already 18 minutes. I be talking, y'all. The final thing is to trust that he will provide as you learn your rhythm and as you take up space to rest. I think this is kind of like the moment where I am in as well, right? Trusting that he will provide. God says that he is provider. He's Jehovah Jireh, the one who provides. In Ephesians 2:10, he says that he has good work for you to do. So in this season, trust that he will provide as you figure out, okay, how does rest look like for me? You know, we suffer from too much FOMO. What is that? What does that stand for? I forgot what it stands for, but basically, wanting to be in everything and everybody's stuff except for our own. And it's time to focus in on that. Focus in on what is best for you. He's going to make sure that you have room for rest. You just got to trust that. There's no need for that hustle and grind type of life. There are moments where you do need to hustle. There are moments when you do need to focus and get work done, right? There is time for that. But that's not your life. That's not how a whole season should go. So trust that God will provide the sustenance. He'll provide the overflow. He'll provide all the things that you're working so hard to get done. When you trust him and make room and space for the rest that you need. Okay. All right, y'all. So it is time. It is that time. It is that time. We are going to break down with the Dreamboost Prayer of the week. Okay. So let's get into it. Lord, show us our rhythm of rest. Teach us how to recognize what we need and trust you to provide as we honor the body you gave us. Show us how to rest and maximize our rest so that we can maximize our life in the season that we're in. All right, y'all. Well, that was it. I am so glad that you got a chance to come on in, catch the replay. Hopefully, if you're catching the replay, that's what I should say. Definitely leave a comment below. Tell me, replay. I caught the replay. I would love to know. And I hope that y'all have an amazing week this week. Bye, y'all.